Yeah. Yeah. Got a story to tell. Yeah. Gory as hell. Yeah. An honest man, seems he came from the promised land, with the markings of God in his hands. With a solace plan, he came to spark his land, at which time was like a dark abyss in the sand. He was born and raised in the stormy days of scorn and rage. He would have to carve and engrave his thoughts upon a page. Feeling starved and chained, he would prick his skin just to warm his veins so he can calm his pain. And he even died, those scars remain both out and deep inside. The harm would disdain and creep and slide until the color of his heart was strange. In his steep decline, he wore out parts of his brain. Due to the thickened stress, he would blaze a sickest cess and occasional cigarettes. He ended up sick in bed. He was only missing death until his vision left, and his life ended the way it began, with a quickened breath.
That once was a human, surrounded by subtle illusions, covered in stupid. He wasn't ignorant, it's not like he knew it. He had his suspicions, he just never could prove it. But he was fortunate enough to spend some time with the mutant who inadvertently enlightened the student. He realized what he saw, but his mind wasn't lucid. Blinded like ears by acoustics, this experience engineered revolution. He located the filter that was built and removed it. Light came rushing in like a tidal wave of revenge for being forsaken and dim, despite the fact that that was not his intent. It was so bright he was blinded almost as much as he just been. The body's an outlet, he's plugged in. Without it there's no conduction. The human mind is him, his fluid skeleton plus skin. So now he's on a quest to more or less coalesce and not evaporate like boiling water's next step. But how can he remain an amalgam with separations the outcome? And there's no longer anything antiquated about him. His lineage is erased by primitive apes without thumbs, or speaking in a figurative style tongue. The description of apes is to articulate how dumb life is supposed to consist of big bangs like loud guns, spontaneous random events, not tandem sequence. With each decision and all new tangent begins. As of now he is suspended in time, serving a death sentence alive. Obscurity imprisons his eye, he can only see outside for where he sits in his mind. Without the vehicle he's unequivocally blind. It's frustrating to be stuck in a sleep spell when you discover the dream and want to leave but can't unbuckle the seatbelt. He struggles to free himself, he needs help, but he must do it alone or he will ultimately fail. Distracted by what he insists is deliberate intent to keep us saturated by schedules of insignificance. So preoccupied with time outside, we can't spend any within, and the brain's activity considerably dims. He had to cross oceans and get to the end without drowning, surrounded by millions of fins. But he did not surrender, the undertow reeling him in. He fought the current and continued to swim. He reached the shore, only to be reassured that no matter what he overcomes, there will be more. Life is a series of doors that stretch like two mirrors reflect. They lead to endless impossibilities that millions neglect. His thoughts devoted to fulfilling his quest, yet his heart is left so broken that it's killing his chest. What you want and what you get are two totally different decks. So play the cards you're dealt with no tells as if they're the best.
A blue baby, born in the true 80s. His father surprised his bride couldn't hide the new Mercedes. Hadn't had a brew lately. His pop's pride grew greatly. Felt like he could survive through the shady. Being born during the dry season, the right reason he would cry teething. Who knew he'd die breathing? With his eyes bleeding in the sly allegiance, his thoughts spinning in a shop precinct like his mind sneezing. Birth with cyanosis and death he'd lie in roses. Before they applied the dosage, he opened his eye and closed it. Doctors never noticed, too busy trying to save him. But the only guarantees in day one is afterlife, the grave come. Whether you act smart or behave dumb, keep to yourself or speak with a brave tongue. Your heart's in a holster or you wave guns. The shots made his face numb. In and out he could taste blood, but now his energy's left to God's grace, son.